Good day. Welcome to Mentor Learning Center. This is Miss Margaret speaking. Today's topic is the continuation of the previous lesson, imageries in writing. Imageries of sight, also known as visual imagery, is usually used to describe color, shape, size, or pattern. Okay, here is an example adapted from a short story entitled The Yellow Wallpaper. You can simply say that the wallpaper is yellow, but you certainly wouldn't make such an impression. The color, an unclean yellow, strangely faded by the slow turning sunlight, is almost revolting. It is a dull yet lurid orange in some places, and a sickly silver tint in others. The choice of word uses such as lurid orange, talking about the discoloration, the darker discoloration, and the sickly sulfur tint, unclean yellow, gives strong impression that the color of the wallpaper is truly something disgusting. We certainly wouldn't be achieved by simply saying that it's yellow. Here's the second example. She accepted the bouquet. It was filled with sunset roses, lace ivory irises, and soft sprays of baby's breath. The flowers swayed in the breeze, almost as if they were dancing in her delight. Okay, here's an example of imagery that can be used for figurative meaning. When it's mentioned that the flowers swayed, certainly flower cannot actually dance or sway. Okay, so you can say that this is both personification and because there is the word as if, it's also a simile. The writers use the choice of words dance in delight, as they say, to give an impression that the flowers is also celebrating in her happiness. Okay, which certainly isn't literal, but it conveys the atmosphere all the same. The imageries of touch, also known as tactile imagery, can be used to describe temperature, texture, or movement. Here's an example number one. The little puppy approached me as he slobbered my face with his wet and eager tongue. I had no choice but to pat his cotton soft fur. I ruffled his fluffy ears as he slapped his pink soft paw into my hand. So there's a lot of words that convey texture. For example, the word cotton soft fur and mink soft paw to convey how soft the fur and the paws are. And the strong verbs, the word slobbered, certainly it gives greater impression that okay, there certainly is more dog saliva splattered all over the surface. It gives stronger impression than the word touch or lick. Here's the second example. The door opened with clear reluctance. Her face was stone cold. Her words, spoken through tightly clenched lips, were lined with frost and eyes with a lifetime of grudge. Okay, so there is a great impression that the person who opened the door certainly didn't actually want to open the door and certainly didn't welcome whoever the guest is. Okay, her face was mentioned as being stone cold and her words lined with frost and ice with lifetime of grudge. As you can see, is triple imageries of temperature to convey the meaning that she is really not welcoming the person. Next is imageries of taste, also known as gustatory imagery, usually used to describe, well, saltiness, sweetness, bitterness, sourness, or savoriness. Here's an example. This time, the cake was baked just right. I bit into a moist mouthful of soft sponge with a faint sourness of lime and a hint of savory goat cheese. As you can see, there is a mention of sourness and savory. Okay, so this give you a clear clue of how the cake is supposed to taste like. Here's a second example. I didn't win, he said. The man's words were dragged out of him, grudgingly, bitterly, as though they were sprinkled with ashes of long hours of harsh practice, and seasoned with the salty tears of a broken dream. Okay, here's another example that imagery can be figurative. Certainly, the man's words is not actually bitter because words cannot be literally bitter, but because the man is acknowledging his defeat. His words was bitter for him. Okay, the word sprinkled, as if you were actually sprinkling seasoning, again, strengthen the impression of gustatory imagery. Okay, but the seasoning is actually ashes. Why ashes? Because there is nothing left of the long hours of practice. In the end, it comes to nothing because the man didn't manage to win. And it's mentioned that he was crying salty tears. Okay, this is also imagery of taste, and is seasoned with salty tears of a broken dream. So in short, because the man didn't manage to win, he also didn't manage to achieve his dream, and therefore the tears. Okay, the word salty strengthened, okay, the perspective of the moment, how the person can actually experience emotion through sensory expression, as to say.